Hello and welcome back to Point to Play Games for some more of Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. The last time we continued moving around as the one, the only, the Buzz Kerwin, who apparently is potentially some sort of related to something terrible. But the innkeepers won't tell us because they try and get us drunk, and so we can't actually ask the question. It works, too. Otherwise, we spoke with Luca over here, the coachman. It turns out he has a thing for Anna, but the thing is that everything that Luca, the coachman, is capable of doing requires the internet. And to get the internet, we need to follow this fancy cable, which we did, and we found it was behind some sort of door. I don't remember what it's called. It starts with a C, like Cortana, something like that. I don't remember. I'm not going to say, hey, Cortana, because then my computer will go off. However, the fact of the matter is that we did find out that there is a password recovery because there's this old woman protecting the door saying that, nope, you need a password. And the password recovery, oh look, there's a router right here. I didn't even notice it. Huh. Anyways, the password recovery tool for it is her husband Ion right here, or Eon. And I'm sorry that I just took a minute and 15 seconds explaining all of that, but long and short, we're going to speak to Eon and see if we can figure out how to reset the password.
I'm here about the password recovery.
What? What's that?
I forgot my username and password.
You what?
I forgot my password.
Oh, all right. Well, do you have the letter?
The letter? Oh, God.
Letter? What letter?
The why? What?
What? No, I'm afraid I don't.
Come back when you have it, Sonny.
All right, so now we need to find...
All right, then.
Now we need to find a why. Okay, at least we're getting an idea of what we have to do. We just have to go figure it out the rest of the way. So, the only place kind of left, because if we could look at this badly lit street, but it'll just say something like, oh, that's a creepy street. We shouldn't go down that, or things like that. Other useless junk. So, let's look at this dark door, and then what we'll do is we'll go down this dark, creepy alley.
One of a series of dark and mysterious doors. I can sort of hear muffled voices from behind it. Should I be eavesdropping on these people, though? Is that ethical in any way on my part?
Well, I mean, not like anything else we do is particularly ethical.
So you have a dark and mysterious door. It's not against the law, is it? I mean, I don't know anything about Transylvanian law, but I think it's legal, right?
Maybe, who knows?
I am the one who knocks. Come to think of it, I'd better not.
Wow. Oh, look, we're checking the phone again. Nope, still no service. Okay, let's go down the dark alley. Okay, then. This is interesting. We have a tourist info point. We have this imposing statue. We have Niku. Somehow we know his name. He has it stapled to his forehead on a piece of paper. Who has a slingshot, which we're definitely going to want. And then we also have this art critic, as well as this faded mural and a few other things to look at. So first, let's look at things.
Don Imagos, artist, creator, director, actor, visionary, modern-day Viking. Brought important contributions to the art of indie game making to Transylvania from the distant lands of the New World.
Of course. As always, indie developers is very important.
Looks like a motivated dude. Also, he's holding a controller. That's pretty cool in my book.
Oh yeah, that is what that is, isn't it?
Good to have you aboard, Don.
Good for it.
Says here in tiny script that if you listen closely, you will hear Don a lot. Huh. Starmazer for the win.
Oh God.
Thank you for your contributions in the field of indie game making, Don Imagos. We salute you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Alright, well, let's look at this tourist info point just for the sake of checking it out, and then we'll start talking to people.
Oh no, not another tourist info point. Thankfully, this one seems to be abandoned. Apparently, they were pragmatic and just gave up.
I mean, that's fair.
I've had enough tourist information stuff for a while.
Oh, that's too bad. The Fishmouth one was pretty good, and it had a mug and everything.
It's a local kid playing on his phone.
Are we gonna have to, get the internet back, and then we'll get the slingshot or something silly like that? Ugh.
Man, he is really into it.
Alright. Let's talk to this dude here and stop walking away.
Hello, young man. What's up?
Playing on my phone. Do I know you?
Just being friendly, that's all.
Uh-huh.
It's a creepy voice.
So, what are you playing?
Call of Duty 6.
I thought shooters sucked on mobile.
Call of Duty is not a first-person shooter. It's a survival game.
Survival game? Really?
Yeah, really. You roleplay this supermodel, and every once in a while, you have to survive on no food before a show for like 3 or 4 days.
That's terrible.
Games have changed since your days, old man. Everything is realistic now.
Disturbingly so.
It is very creepy. His voice, I mean. His voice is terrifying. The fact that they're making a little... They're taking a jab at the modeling industry, also true, but still.
Nice place, this town.
Nothing ever happens here, and I can't even get data on my phone anymore. But yeah, great place.
Well, if you looked up from that screen every once in a while, you'd see that it is.
Oh, jeez, you're one of those, aren't you? We get it. You grew up hitting a ball against the wall, not glued to the screen. You were so much better off. Thanks for the insight. Bye.
Well, no, that's not really what I meant. I was a nerd just like you.
Oh yeah, you're totally hip to geekdom and down with the youth, pups.
That is just hilarious.
Have you seen a girl called Peace around?
No, I haven't. Cause I'm one of those losers who won't look up from their screens at the real world. Right?
What's his belt? His belt looks like it's a controller or something like that. Anyways, later, dog.
Later.
Uh-huh.
Alright, that's it. I'm stealing your slingshot. Let me steal the slingshot. Come on, let me do it.
That slingshot of yours.
What?
That thing does not look deadly.
It's only made from the toughest wood you'll find around these parts and a virtually unbreakable rubber band. And I've used industrial-grade glue to put the thing together. Not only is it deadly, it's indestructible.
Okay.
Okay, I believe you.
Good. Now leave me alone, please. Thank you.
What a dick.
That slingshot. I'll bet I.
What are we wagering?
Just the satisfaction of.
Okay then, it's on.
This is weird. I don't know why I did that. Okay, cool.
Later.
I just tricked a child into giving me a slingshot. That's a little... I mean, that's... neither good nor bad. Oh, is that a cat? Look, there's a cat in the foreground.
Heart-shaped mural. It's got like a circle in the middle and, yeah, I have no idea what this is.
That's perfect.
The heart is right next to that faded portrait, as is the brain. What does that mean?
We're gonna have to talk to this person to find out, aren't we?
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Perfect. I can't interact with this cat in the foreground. It makes me sad. Let's look at the brain.
This is your brain.
Oops.
This whole mural thing above the archway just makes no sense to me. Must be a cultural barrier thing.
I'm sure.
I wouldn't know how to use it. No reason to have her climb up there.
That's fair.
It's a withered portrait of a man with a fiercely intense stare. There's something about him. Something strange but familiar.
Oh, for Christ's sake. It's gonna be like a great-great-great-grandfather or something like that.
I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like I know this guy. Well, not no, but I feel like I've seen his face before. But where?
It's gonna be something like in the mirror.
Man, this is really frustrating. Who the heck does it remind me of? A friend? A neighbor? Someone in my family?
Who cares? Stop dwelling on it.
I really feel drawn to it. There's nothing to do with it, just I guess admire it. He looks so familiar and I can't place him. Who does this guy remind me of?
It is a fair question. Anyways, let's stare at the art critic. Let's criticize.
This lady's really interested in that mural up there.
I'm telling you, it's very similar to him, but whatever.
She has this air about her. The air of someone who knows stuff.
Well, as she knows stuff, let's talk to her about it.
Hi there. I couldn't help but notice you're examining that mural up there.
Pardon me? Oh, yes, indeed I am, yes.
Can you tell me anything about it?
Why, of course. You see, there is a certain ambiguity in regard to the vivacious and decidedly histrionic undertones of the disjunctive perturbation present within the artist's essentially transitional brushwork. Wouldn't you say? Of course, you must not let this hint of overspecificity on my part overshadow the obviously resonant spatial relationships between the reductive quality of the lines and the commitment to a rigorously formal approach on the artist's behalf.
Actually...
What you must understand is that the work echoes its own edges with its obsequious interior dialogue, and even replicates itself, paradoxically denying any allusion to a juxtaposed mythopoetical reality.
What? I'm sorry. What do you think of the solvent? What do you think of this glove? I have a pocket of trash. Like...
Yeah, but what does it all mean?
Aren't you paying attention, young man? It signifies that the structuralist paradigm under which the creator diligently operated is flush with interpolated post-dialectic musings that cannot be rightfully ignored.
That's oversimplifying it a bit, but yeah, okay.
Okay, I mean, what's the significance of the divided heart?
What is the significance of the divided heart?
It is clearly a corollary of the coronary metaphors which permeate the opacity and quintessential divergence of pervasive aesthetic hierarchies in the artist's oeuvre.
I agree. What can you tell me about this bus ticket?
An incisive voyagerial metaphor, rectangularly encased in an obviously sarcastic homage to utter futility and cavalcading materialism.
What about this?
What do you think of this cauldron?
An unrelentingly piercing allusion to corporeal gastronomic enslavement, in the almost puritanical form of a hemisphere, wrought of sacrosanct hunger, both telluric and spiritual.
You nailed it on the head.
What on? I mean, this is something else.
What do you think of this slingshot?
Kinda shoddy if you ask me.
What?
Inextricably inferior.
That is funny. This kid talks it up and she's just like, super inferior, it's awful.
I have this pocket full of trash.
Such a buckish postmodernist cliché turned anti-cliché, or as some would put it, mudful reversed boilerplate. Not an entirely surprising denouement coming from a distinguishably inexperienced dabbler in the arts, but one I uncontemptuously applaud nonetheless.
Yeah, it's just trash, really.
Precisely. Wink wink, as they say.
Oh my god.
What are your thoughts on this glove?
The inherently loquacious relationship between the universality of myth and the theoretical limits of acceptance is akin to a pattern of new insights that are instantly accrued and synthesized, n'est-ce pas? What starts out as a triumph soon becomes manipulated into a tragedy of circumstantial, amorphous extrications of shape and content. Like shimmering replicas becoming anthropomorphic, emergent through critical practice, resulting in intermittent forms that become distorted enough to reflect our true nature as solipsistic consumers of conformity.
But what about the glove?
Oh, there's a glove?
I don't even understand.
What do you think of this solvent?
Are you by by any chance employing tracheous earthly chemistry as a means of subsuming the inextricable anthropologic dissolution into a pan-expressive, if mechanistic, allegory of human suffering and decay?
I sure am.
Bitchin'.
I mean, this was a complete waste of our time, but my god, that was a very
leave you to
worthwhile
critique.
waste.
Indeed.
Let's go into here now. That was fascinating. That was a wonderful opportunity. Oh, great. Oh, look, we have a... As always, we have a gorgeous pasture, a mural, and an old man. Let's look at this mural, I guess.
An intricate monochrome mural in stark contrast with the intense colors all around it. It seems to tell a pretty convoluted story.
You have to click again, apparently.
An intricate It seems to tell...
Okay. So, there must be something that we have to come...
Just peep it yourself, Mr. Art Critic.
That's funny. There has to be something that we have to come to understand about this mural. Our first move, though, seems to most likely be staring at this pasture.
My word, This is my homeland, kidday. She doesn't care.
No, she doesn't.
Kind of makes you want to retire, live a simpler life. Tend to the cattle, squeeze milk out of their... never mind.
Well, we 180'd that real fast.
Gorgeous, but I have stuff to do. Breathtaking, but we have things to take care of.
That is fair.
She's not going anywhere without me.
Well, I'm not convinced of that just yet. Alright, let's stare at this old man, as is customary.
A senior citizen enjoying his time on that bench. He seems really peaceful.
He's asleep, isn't he?
Good evening.
A good evening to you, young man.
Such a pretty town.
Such a pretty town, Maris.
Yes, and an old and storied one, too. Oh, if these walls could speak. The birds, the deaths, the wars.
Maybe it's better that they can't speak.
I mean, what a sight to see, huh?
Boy, what a sight, huh?
Yes, it is superb. The rolling hills, with their scents of hay and white flowers, the gently grazing herds. Sometimes I wish they placed this bench the other way around, but I guess this way you can admire the mural.
Let's ask about this.
Is the painting old?
Old, yes. Older than most things in this town. How old exactly, though, I cannot tell you.
What's the story behind it?
Is there a story behind it?
Yes, there is. But do you have the time to listen to it?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do.
Yes, I do.
Now, legend has it that a long, long time ago, on top of a mountain overlooking Forum Maris, a Solomonar, that's an ancient wizard, was conjuring thunder and rain when, below, a terrifying Balaur, that's a dragon, attacked the town. The masks, sworn defenders of the town, could not defeat the dragon, but could not live either, so they sent an innocent young shepherd girl by the name of Miwara and her dog Azor to beg for the Solomonar's assistance. Miwara and Azor's journey up the mountain was not without peril. See, the Solomonar had laid many traps and cunning magical obstacles to stop anyone from disturbing his ritual. But Miwara and Azor were smart and agile and resilient, so they made it to the mountaintop and told of the dragon's attack. But the Solomonar was red with anger, and could not see beyond the fact that a girl and her dog had conquered his defenses. And since they had proven to be smart and agile and resilient, he transformed Miwara and Azor into a black and a white cat, forever cursed to roam the hills and mountains without ever resting again. Then he did make his way down to Forum Maris and found it in smoldering ruins, and the masks all but defeated, making their last stand against the beast. He fought the dragon for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally crushed it down into the mountain, burying it in the bowels of the earth. Afterwards, he cried tears of remorse for foolishly cursing the shepherd girl and her dog, and erected a monastery in their remembrance. That castle above the town that everyone fears, its steeple is all that remains of the monastery the Solomonar built ages and ages ago. It became corrupted, and some folks say that it's from the evil that the remains of the dragon still hold. I hear the masks are once again guarding the castle now that its rightful heir has returned. But who would risk going all the way there to see if it's true? Not many, dear. Not many.
Wow, that was fascinating.
I'm glad to hear you say that, young man. I'm still here to tell the story, but for how long? No one really knows or cares about it other than me and the masks themselves. Maybe once I'm gone, so it shall disappear into oblivion.
Let's hope not.
That story was fantastic. I love the fact that this game, and I realize I'm just sort of like breaking from the game for a second in a way, but I just really love the fact that the game developers and the storytellers and everything like that, they created this entire little story about this town, and it's part of a clue. Like, it has to be. And that is just an amazing story. Unfortunately, we'll have to be off.
I'll be off now. Have a nice evening.
You too, young man. Goodbye.
So, unfortunately, after that wonderful story and conversation with the old man, we are out of time. So, thank you very much for once again joining me here at Point to Play Games, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.